We'll do it like this today. There we go. Hopefully, it'll catch the stream. We'll do this one more time. It was working a minute ago. Alright, we're up. Sup, everybody? We are live. I'm gonna do this one time so you can see my Discord before we get started. Just let you know that we're now doing tier lists. So, yep. So now you get to see the actual tier. You get to see my Discord. Well, you won't get to see my number, but still. Just gonna make sure tier list is good to go. Now, normally I normally wouldn't have this problem, but you know, things are things. So there we go. We are now good to go. Let's get this party going. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sinister-Sama here, and welcome to a tier listing of The Void Reigns Upon Her Heart. We got 3 different listings today. We have the training arc. For those who don't know, we're going to put that over here. We're going to put that in the middle. This is going to be whether or not you're going to be ready to train and learn it. This is going to be when you first encounter the game. This is going to be from an absolute beginner standpoint. If you've never touched the game, you've never touched a shmup, if you've never touched a roguelite, this is where it's at right here. And finally, once you've gone through the training arc, are you still ready to conquer that beast? This is where we're going to be. So, that being said, let us begin the tiering. So, we have all monsters currently in the game, with Alter Shanks now being our latest one. So, we're going to go down the line and we're going to go through it all. So, Scrambler. When you meet Scrambler, Scrambler's one of the basic ones you normally meet right out the rip. I honestly think that she's an easy fight. Even if you don't go in this, I don't think she's free. Don't get it wrong. I don't think she's free for a beginner, but I think she's very, very doable. She's very good to start in the match. She's not the type of person that... She's not the type of monster that's going to give you problems at level 1. Maybe level 3 if you're very bad at the game. But if you're at least competent, I would say definitely you should be able to do it at level 1. So, honestly, she's easy and learnable. Honestly, we're going to put her right... Easy and learnable. Easy and learnable. She's right here. She's at that corner. You can easily learn what her adds are. She's a very basic character. She's very one-dimensional. You cannot go wrong with her. And then when we look at it from when you finally get good at the game, yeah, she's free. She's free. She is absolutely free. She is as free as she can get. If you can't go any freer than that, then you have a problem. I honestly think she's one of the free characters when you get down to it at the end of it all. Whether you're speedrunning it, whether you're doing endless, whether you're going to the... She doesn't even have a 42, so when you go to level 8, she's free. You can never go wrong with her. Alright, we're gonna go Amalga. I think Amalga, when you first meet up with her, because she's really one of those monsters that when you find her, you're gonna be completely blindsided at first. I think she's doable. Alright, she's right there on the upper end, going towards the upper end of hard, but she's doable. When you first meet her up, you may think, oh, she's impossible, but if you really pay close attention, she's very doable. I'm also going to say she's a learnable fight. Now, she ain't free. She's not free. I would more along the line say that you will have to put in some work. You're going to put in some work for Amalga, but she's very learnable at that stage of the game. Put her right over here. Learnable, easy to handle. She can be what she is, okay? Now, is she free? Nah, far from free. I would say easy. Definitely on the lower end of easy. Like she's going towards like very doable. But she's easy. She's easy enough to hold, easy enough to handle. That's as far as I can tell you. Calorie. She's slightly tricky when you first meet her. When you first meet her, you won't know that after you break off the tail pieces, there's not a whole lot of damage to be had. And she actually is one of those few battles that have safety bubbles when you first meet up with her. So you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is going to be a very type of match. I honestly think that Calorie is going to take a little bit of time. I think she's easy to be learned. She's easy, but not quite the one. She's easy once you start learning the patterns. I don't think, though, she's all along the lines of learn-asable. A slight arc is required, but I wouldn't say she's the hardest thing under the sun. Maybe a pain in the ass, but not very hard. She's easy, but she's easy, but not like Amalga easy when you do her. I think she's more along the lines of, as long as she's not over leveled, she can still be very manageable. Once she gets over leveled, she can get out of control if you're not careful. I'm not gonna lie. She can run the circles around you. You hate to see it. Jewel. Okay. This is hard. Jewel is gonna body you when you first meet her. When you first meet her, and especially if you're running Heart or Defect, or Painter when you do, and not even Painter even. Painter might have even a problem with her. Those three, and hell, even Flawless, you gotta have a lot of nerve to really beat her on your first go. It's not hard but doable. Not hard but doable, but no. She is hard. Let me change that real quick. She is hard. She is like, not hell, but hard enough to make you really have to go into a training arc. And yes, once you learn her patterns, she's somewhat manageable, but you will have to go through a bit of a training arc to do it. Not the arc, but a training montage at the very least. She's definitely not one of those characters that you're gonna sit over here and say to yourself, I got this, I'm gonna whoop that ass. No, she is far from free. It takes work. You will take work. And once you learn her, she's doable. She's very doable. She's not the challenge, but she's very doable. Now, I would say she's on the upper end of doable to be close to a real challenge, but that's only because we're not considering the 42. We're not considering when you see her at Endless. We're talking about at the upper echelon of Altered Towers. Or like when you see her at level 12. She can be doable. She is very doable. Shiny Jewel, honestly, she's free. When you can't really lose unless you're really, really bad. And you really don't need a training arc. She's along the lines of free. So we're definitely... Yeah, you're probably wondering, yeah, she's joining the free club. We'll put her right above Scrambler. There's no reason why you should be losing to Shiny Jewel. Any shinies is going to be there. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to put a whole new row over here and just call it shiny. Shinies are just free. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. She's a shiny, you should never be losing. Alright, we'll move on from there. Emerald. I would say she's tricky. Not like doable, but she's tricky enough. Emerald's, if you want my honest opinion, Emerald's in the middle tier of all the jewels. Like, you have Emerald, Sapphire, Topaz, Sapphire, Citrine, Amethyst, and then there's Nova. She's in the direct middle. Like, Nova's the hardest of the hard. Then you have Citrine, Amethyst, and then you have Emerald. With then Sapphire, Topaz, Ruby, and Topaz. Honestly, Emerald's at the middle of the board because when you fight her, when you first meet her, she can be a bit of a problem if you're fighting her on upper levels. And you'll likely find her there before you find her at a lower level. But is it worth the training arc? She's a very learnable fight, but God, will you have to freaking struggle when you first have to start learning her. This is a learnable fight, but you're gonna go through some shit. Like, her pattern, her ads make it very, You're gonna go through some things. I think middle of the learnable route here. Now, is she free? Nah. Is she easy? Yeah. She's on the very low end of very doable. Like, I think this is where her stat line is for if she's doable. Very doable at that stage of the game, at the end game. When you get to the end game, she's very doable. She's not hard. Unless you're trying to do the 42, she's not really that bad. Not gonna lie. Shamra. My feelings on Shamra is very, like, the low end of doable, high end of tricky. When you find Shamra, you should already have enough time in the game to really think, oh, okay, this is basically a Danmaku battle. And that's how I feel right now. I think Shamra, in this case, oh yeah, shout out to Lo-Fi Girl. Yeah, it feels like by the time you find Shamra for the first time, she's doable. Very, very doable at that point. You should already have about a month or so, a couple weeks to a month in, and you should already know the game by now. And I honestly would tell you that she's easy, but it will take you a little bit of time to learn some of her patterns, especially on the upper difficulties. I will easily admit to that. But she's not a free battle. She's easy, but not free. Like, she's right there near right around the Amalga level. I'm just gonna put that out there. Rendy. I'm not gonna lie. Rendy's free. Rendy is free. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Rendy is free. And once you start learning Rendy is hard. It's easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start putting like right at the very corner. If they're not on this board somewhere, they're in a corner. So yeah, very easy, very learnable to do. Easy as shit. The mascot's free, not even gonna lie. And while we're on that subject, so is the shiny. Shiny doesn't even get mentioned here. Shiny Rendy is basically just another version of, it's just a shinier, more reward version of Rendy. Snowball, on the other hand, now this is a tricky battle. I think lower than Emerald, but definitely higher than Gallery. When you meet Snowball for the first time, Snowball's gonna give you some of that. It's gonna give you a tricky pattern. But once you start trying to learn the battle, she's fairly easy to understand. I put her slightly around, very learnable, but away from where Shiny Rendy is at. That's what I'm thinking. She's a very learnable fight. She is very, very learnable. And once you start learning her, she is indeed free. But not like, she's not like Scrambler free. Honestly, she's not like Rendy and Scrambler free. She's just free. Maybe even borderline easy, but she's free. Now, by the time you're doing Snowball enough times, you already know Shiny Scrambler. We don't even go any further than that. You don't even have to move that right there. Be off to the side. Yeah. We'll put Snowball right over here. You'll see what I mean by Snowball. Like a lot of there we go. Like a lot of the characters are easy to go with. By the time you face Shiny Snowball, you should have no problems with this battle. Shy Scrambler. On the upper end of easy, but not quite slightly tricky. Honestly, it's just a longer Scrambler fight. And when you start learning her, again, she's on the very easy, very learnable side. To tell you the truth, she's another free battle, but not like Scrambler free. She's definitely not Snowball, like, she's like the hardest thing ever with the free. But she's free enough. So far, nobody for that real challenger is still held yet. Round Saw. Slightly tricky, but definitely below Calorie. Once you learn the major gimmick on Round Saw is very, very doable. I will say though that you're gonna put some work in, but not as much work as you think you're gonna learn. Very easy, but definitely gonna take a little bit of work. Once you've learned her enough though, she is free, but she's kind of in between that Scrambler, Shy Scrambler type of easy, free. I'm just gonna call it. Alright, Alter Round Saw. A step up from Round Saw, but still not quite Calorie level yet, of slightly tricky. I put her on the same playing field as Round Saw. Once you start learning Round Saw, Alter Round Saw, the only difference between her and her counterpart, her unaltered counterpart, is the fact that she just comes with more bullets. That's it, in a slightly pattern. But I will say she is definitely a tad bit harder than Shy Scrambler, but still free. Still very free. Still very free. No round saw actually goes on the tricky side. Adding a spike to come through and the fact that she doesn't act as her other two round counterparts does put her a little bit above Snowball on the tricky side. But the thing is, her training arc is still there. It's there. Her training arc is still very easy to understand. And as a matter of fact, her training arc is like, okay, it's about the same as Altered Round Saws when you get down to it. So I guess that's a thing. So her training arc is like, ugh, whatever. I'm not gonna say she's free though. Definitely on the upper levels, she can get you in trouble if you're starting her out on like Torrent Rain. But she is still easy once you get to that point. I think easy enough is where it's at. Lila. The low end of light is slightly tricky. I think Lila's a battle that on the upper levels she becomes a bit of a problem, but you fight her low enough to know what to expect at that point. And her training arc, well, you know what? I'm gonna switch out this training arc a little bit. We're not gonna do all that. What we're gonna do is, you know what? Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of the training arc here and the learnable, because we're gonna basically run it like this: easy to hell. So when we're talking about training, it's gonna go from easy to hell. So once we start seeing it, it gets easy. Like the training arc for these 5 characters are stupid easy. Yeah, I had to change that a little bit. Like Shiny Jewel's another one that has an easy training arc. So the Scrambler. Yeah, there you go. Now we can start to see here. Snowball is also a little bit on the easy side on the training arc. Like her training arc is not horrible. I will say though that it does take it will put in some work. What about Shamra as well? So what we're gonna do is we're definitely gonna try to integrate this properly. Calorie is another one. Calorie does take a little bit of a training arc. I'm not gonna lie. Takes a little bit on the easier side. Jewel actually is hard to learn. Jewel's on the harder end of learning. Not hell, but harder. Round Saw's kind of in the middle. Round Saw's kind of middle. Ultra Round Saw, if we're really doing technicals, right around here. Amalga, very learnable. We'll put her right to here. Lila's also on that list. Let's see. Can I do this? Nah, because the way Shy Scrambler's out. Yeah, the way where Lila's at, we're just gonna basically just have to keep dancing around here because every new one's gonna have to pull up. You know what? Nah, we're not even gonna do this. We'll come back for the training arc later. Actually, can I change this tier list? View tier. There we go. There we go. We got another tier list. We're gonna bring them down. Bring them back down here. So we're gonna change up we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna delete a row. Delete a row. So we're gonna call this the filler arc. Filler arc. Off-screen filler. This is the training arc for the most part. If it's a filler arc, it's a filler arc. There's no way around it. So we're gonna definitely go back to who we've already gotten already. So then you have, I don't know, flashback. Mainly, is it easy enough? Then there's a major flashback. Major flashback. Basically, it would take half an episode. Training episode. And then, of course, the training arc. Basically, the arc of training before, like your Saiyan Saga. The actual training arc. Alright, so we're gonna reset the board. There we go. So, Scrambler, filler arc. Amalga, flashback. Calorie, off-screen filler. Jewel, that's a training, that's gonna be a major flashback. Shiny Jewel, yeah, filler arc. Emerald, flashback. Shamra, off-screen filter. Same with filler arcs all across the board over here. Snowball's at the upper end of the filler arc. Like, you really don't want to go watching. Shinies, you know what? I do have to put shinies in their own spot. I keep forgetting that shinies are a thing. Add a row below. There you go. That's supposed to be blue. Alright. Done there. And then we're gonna go with shinies. Shiny is basically a whole different realm that you shouldn't be losing regardless. No trainer arc required. Alright, so. Shiny Jewel. Rendy. There. Shy Scrambler, off-screen filter, filler. Basically, it's not... you know what? Maybe I should reverse that. There we go. Off-screen filler. So, you just magically see them getting stronger. Put that as the blue. And make that the green. There we go. There we go. Round Saw. Filler arc, but not quite the same. Yeah, this is off-screen filler. Reddy's off-screen filler. Shy Scrambler's off-screen filler over around this side. Shamra. I think Shamra, honestly, by the time you meet her, you're not gonna really need a filler arc, but she's definitely not Calorie when you first meet her. Ultra Round Saw, definitely on the lower end of filler arc with Calorie. Flashback's actually a thing. I think honestly, flashback is actually a major mention of it is a thing. So I'll put it right under Emerald. I'll be honest with you there. Lila, off-screen filler. Once you learn Lila, though, you really can't go wrong. Definitely below Sarama. Alright. Now, is Lila, once you start learning Lila, is Lila easy? Is she free? She's free, but not as free as you think she is. We're not talking about Ultra Round Star free, but not Snowball type of free, where Snowball's going to give you the business regardless. Lila does take a little bit of a deft hand, especially at the level 8 level. But once you start learning her, she's still free. By the time you learn, by the time you find Shy Lila, slightly above Lila. I'm not gonna lie. All it is extra steps, Lila. That's all it is. And I can't, in all honesty, I can't put her any higher I can't put her higher than her original battle, because by the time you learn Lila, you'll learn Shy Lila. Once you find Shy Lila, that is an easier arc. I definitely say once you learn her, she's definitely on the freer side. Definitely below Ultra Round Saw. Sandrum, I'm not going to say free. Scrambler, yeah, Scrambler's easy. Shy Scrambler is easy. I'm going to say when you first meet Sandrum, she's on the upper end of easy, but she is not tricky in the slightest. The reason why I say it is because Sandrum can... She's the introduction to Danmaku, and she can get you completely out of left field if you don't know how to break segments, go for breakable parts, and take her on afterwards. I definitely think that when we're looking at trainer and training arc, she's on the low end of filler. I think Round Saw's a bit more work, but Sandrum is not like, you learn her, you're great. Nah, she still does take a little bit of work. But I will say, once you learn her though, she's free. She's like middle of the free tier. No questions asked. Volodrome. Ooh. Doable. Low end of doable. There's a reason why I say Volodrome is doable. When you meet her, you got flame safety bubbles, and you meet her so late. You meet her around the middle, late of your unlocking potential that she can really catch you completely by surprise at the first 2 or 3 times. She's not tricky. She is doable, but Jesus, is she gonna make it hard your first couple runs. Learning her is a bit of a flashback. I think definitely the upper end, not quite Jewel level. Below Jewel, by all means. But definitely higher than Emerald, Amalga. You'll find easier routes with Null, Round Saw, Emerald, and Amalga before you get really good at Volodrome. Especially because Volodrome does hit around level 11, level 12. I'm gonna say she's still very doable, but God help you if you're doing it on Torrent and you're not prepared. She will catch you. I'm not even gonna lie. She's going to catch you. Shanks. Girl, you are a problem child. Okay, you are doable. When I first met you, you were doable, but holy hell, I thought you not prepared for it. As a matter of fact, the low end of doable. You get caught by her, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. She is a battle that is a lot of segments, a lot of breakable pieces, and God help you if you find her on upper levels for the first time. You will hate it. I'll be honest with you though. Filler arc. Upper end of filler arc, but not quite flashback level. I think once you start learning her, like literally sit down to learn her, she's actually rather elementary. Not gonna lie. She is pretty cut and dry. Self-explanatory. What do I see in her though? I guess she's easy, the upper end of easy. Once you find out what she's capable of, she's on the upper end of easy no matter how you look at it. She's not very doable. She's pretty much right there on, you got the wrong build, she's going to give you a problem regardless. If you got a build or at least somewhat of damage, she's kind of easy. Not even free, but easy enough. Now, we're going to go out of order here and put Alter Shanks here. We're going to pull her up a little bit. Sorry girls, you'll be there in a second. Hard but doable. When you first meet Alter Shanks, holy hell, be prepared for that ass. Alter Shanks is going to make you work for it. And she's at upper levels, upwards to level 12. I took a lot of time to learn this battle. I took a lot of times to do it with Demon. Demon trivializes the battle, but everyone else, you're going to work for it. I'm not even going to lie. Hers might be the first real true training arc that I'm going to put up there. Like, it's worth a training episode. Like, Jewel is a major flashback. Like, you will need a minute when you first learn, when you're learning the game. Like, I got hundreds of hours in. So, for me to put her at the training episode, that meant I had to sit down for more than 15 minutes to start learning her. I'm gonna be honest with you. I still don't think I'm ready for Alter Shanks yet. I still don't think I'm ready for her. She's gonna be one of those ones that with every other character, I'm dreading. With Demon, I'll take her. I can take her a Demon, especially if I got panics, but I'm dreading her everywhere else. And I'm gonna tell you, she's actually around Jewel level. Is she a real challenge? No. Not once you've gotten my experience. She's very doable. Slightly below Jewel, but definitely above Emerald and Volodrome. Very doable, but not bringing the challenge. Ruby. I'm sorry. Ruby's just tricky. Not even Emerald tricky, just tricky. It all depends on the safety bubbles when you're fighting her, whether they want to be cooperative and whether her ads are going to give you the bad pattern. That's basically it. Honestly, off-screen filler would actually be about right. Low end of filler arc. I put her on the low end of filler arc. She's not incredibly off-screen filler, but once you learn her enough, she is free, but on the upper end of free. I honestly think she's on the upper end of free. You can beat her, no problem. No questions asked. If I saw Ruby, unless there was someone that I feel more comfortable with, I will take a Ruby fight. Just to take her off the table. When you meet Boiler, she's slightly trickier than Scrambler. Honestly, the only thing that Boiler has that Scrambler doesn't have is that the ads explode, and she adds one extra ad that Scrambler doesn't. But honestly, off-screen filler is where she's at. Not better than Calorie. I will say that. She does take a little bit more work than Calorie, but not really worth the filler arc. Not really worth that filler arc. And once you learn Boiler, she's still free, but like she's on the upper end of free. Like it's gonna take a little bit of work. Not like Lila work, but still work enough. Guardian Soul. Oh god. Okay, this is hard. When you first meet Guardian Soul, she's one of the 2 scroll bosses. She's maybe on the lower end of hard but doable. She is not a joke. Out of all the newborns, she is not a joke. She is not to be fucked with. She's one of those ones that if you find yourself in a bad spot with if you don't have a build, she is gonna put you under. And I'll be the first to say it. Low end of major flashback. She is definitely one of the ones where you're gonna put in some work. You will put in work. When I was doing Guardian Soul runs to try to get the Radiance and free play, quick play, ooh, she's definitely not the type of girl that's gonna put you in. She'll put you in your place. Not gonna lie, she will gladly put you in your place. I would say she's very doable, but not on the same level as like Alter Shanks. I think above Emerald. Above Emerald, but lower than Alter Shanks and Jewel. I think Guardian Soul does take a little bit more finesse-ish, but can be done. She can be done. Photosai. Easy, slightly harder than Shy Scrambler, but definitely easier than Sandrome. Once you start learning Photosai, and the fact that she has a level 1, when you start running Photosai, she's easy. And definitely when you start learning her, she's definitely in between that Scrambler, Shy Scrambler arc filler. You really have no problems with that. Against my better judgment, I am going to say, though, she's just the very low end of easy. Not free. She's not free because over-leveled, and her level 5 and over-leveled, if you don't have a build, she can probably catch you by surprise. Even in the most experienced players will consider, do I have a build for her? Is it worth the headache? More often than not, if I see some of the freer battles, I'm taking that over Photosai. But if I see something like a Emerald, no. We'll do Photosai. We'll take it. Volodrome, at that point though, Volodrome and maybe Photosai is around the same level, but it's a matter of whether or not I want to put up with Volodrome over Photosai. Photosai is easily, I'll put up with her. Dendro High is tricky. Middle tricky. No questions asked. Dendro High has safety bubbles. With some of the harder Irix, is going to have some safety bubbles. She's one of those battles. She's a battle that if you are not prepared for it, she will catch you on phase 1. Her phase 2 is actually rather easy compared to her phase 1. Her phase 1 can put you out of your misery, which deserves the low end of the flashback arc. Like, she's right around where Emerald would be. And honestly, I'm not even ashamed to say it. Dendro High has put me down a few times in Heavy Rain and made me reset a couple of Heavy Rain runs, especially with Demon and Cross, because I'm either getting a little bit too careless or something along the lines. It shows. Not gonna lie, it shows. But I will say though, she's on the low end of easy. Like, once you learn her, she is absolutely there. Not quite free, but damn sure not like very doable. Not like on the very doable side, like, oh, okay. Nah, she's there. She's like, okay, yeah, I get you. Photosai, I might put up with, but Dendro High, yeah, I can put up with you if I got the build. If I got a build enough, yeah, I can put up with you. Hematoran. When you meet her, doable. The reason why it's her 2-stage battle, a lot of it has to do with her blood. She's definitely above the jewels and the tricky area, but definitely not Shanks level. I think, honestly, she is definitely... When you start learning her, you'll find that she's actually a lot easier than you think. She's actually a lot easier when you think when you start learning her. But her initial entry when you fight her, she is going to catch you by surprise. She's going to catch you. She's going to feel like a hard battle. But when you start learning her, she's like, oh, this is very doable. Very easy to take care of. And when you start looking at her, I think Dendro High and Photosai is definitely one of the ones that are there. She's on the upper end of free. Lower than Dendro High, by far. But I wouldn't say she's like... She's not Umbroa. Well, Umbroa is actually pretty as well. I think she's the easiest of all the Irix. Once you start learning her, even on upper level, she's the easiest of all Irix. No questions asked. Outside of the shiny. Umbra is slightly tricky. When you meet her, she'll catch you when you first meet her, but when you notice that she doesn't do a whole lot of moving around, her training arc is absolutely pathetic. Like, she has an easier training arc than Hima. But the reason why she's gonna be she's gonna be a little bit harder than Hima, on free, but still harder than Hima, is because at the upper levels, rain, bullets, you will feel claustrophobic. With Hima, you have space once you get rid of the ads. You don't really get that same feeling with Umbroa. She's not Dendra High type of fucking screwy or photo-sized amount of bullshit to catch you from behind, but still free. Still free enough. Lavalin. Upper end of doable. I would say, yeah, definitely above Amonga when you first meet her. When you first meet Lavalin, you will be caught by surprise. Rain and her firing at you is not a very good combination. You'll probably find her on the lower levels, and she's still doable. She's not tricky, she's doable. Like, she can be done, but God help you if you're not ready for her. And actually, her training arc is the upper end of Flashback. Like, Volodrome is easier to learn than Lavalin. And you'll find out that Lavalin is definitely not someone you want to mess with without a proper build. When you're doing her in quick play, she seems like she can be on the filler arc, but the more you play with other characters, the more you feel like, yeah, actually I can see where this could be a problem. She is on the low end, but once you start learning her, she's right around where Emerald's at. Not gonna lie, she's right around where Emerald's at. She is maybe a little bit easier, a little bit harder than Volodrome, but not quite as hard as Guardian Soul or Emerald. She's there. Heliola. Oh shit, when you meet her, oh, even on the lower levels, you meet her, she's like, oh, this is a problem. And she does. She floods the arena like it's going out of style. She makes it so that if you're not ready for her, she's about ready to be. She's on that level of Jewel. She's with that level with Jewel, and honestly, she needs a bit of a flashback, honestly. More so than Jewel, because once you learn Jewel, she's actually can be done. Heliola is not the same because you got a lot more to think about. Where Jewel, you don't have to worry about safety bubbles as much. Heliola, the whole thing is safety, safety, safety. But is she really above Jewel? No. Definitely above Ultra Shanks, without question, but not quite Jewel. Once you start learning her arc, she becomes like Jewel, but not quite Jewel. Jewel is right now a borderline the real challenge, which I might actually put her up there. You know what? I think that's gonna be on the low end of real challenge. She's Heliola's on the high end of doable, but Jewel's really a challenge. I'm gonna put that up there. Kemery. In the middle of doable. When you meet Kemery, you're gonna meet her on the lower level. I'm not gonna lie, you will meet her on the lower level. She's doable. She's very doable. And I'll be honest with you, same with that. It does take a little bit of work to learn her outright. I think on the upper levels is where she fits it above the filler arc. Like, it's her upper level battles is a pain in the ass. Her lower level battles is fine, but her upper level battles makes it so that she's on the doable side. Definitely above Emerald, but not quite Guardian Soul. Once you start learning Kemery's bullshit, you really can't go wrong. And she's like, okay. Nah, I get it. Hades-So. I'm sorry, but why? Why? Hades-So is actually one of the few Iric glyphs that is, when you have ads, is actively guarding the motherfuckers. Like, she gives it an effort to guard them shits. And holy hell is her training arc worthwhile. I think she's harder than a Lavalin training arc. You're gonna need to work her with Guardian Soul, around the Guardian Soul. Like God, it's hard. I wouldn't say like Ultra Shanks hard, but it's hard enough that if you don't have the proper, if you're not ready to learn her, she will body you. But once you start learning her, I honestly think she's just above Emerald. maybe lower than Kemery, mainly because her whole shtick is getting to phase 2 with no ads, she's free. With ads, it complicates things, so I'm like, I guess. Where Kemery, you don't want to have those ads in there. She makes life hell without the ads. So with ads, oh, fuck that noise. But at the end of the day, that's what I say. Shionoto. Honestly, just doable. Definitely below Volodrome. When you meet up with her on the lower level, she's actually pretty cut and dry. She doesn't really move. She's doable when you first meet her. Not gonna lie, when I met her, the first couple times, I stomped the hell out of her. And the one time I did get caught out there when I was getting ready to learn her, was mainly her upper level battles, because I didn't have a build. So yeah, definitely around the I would say Kemery and Shionotoa. Shionotoa is debatable. Those two can be flip-flopped, how you look at it. I will say, though, that she is slightly harder than Kemery, but not Guardian Soul when you finally get to fighting her on the upper tier. Upper tier, I will take a Shionotoa over a Guardian Soul. Alta Shanks, definitely over Heliola. If I see Jewel and Shionotoa, unless Shionotoa is at a higher level than Jewel, I'm taking Shionotoa. No questions asked. I will take that. And as a speedrunner, I rather Shionotoa than Jewel. Jewel kind of wastes a lot of time. Rage Boiler is definitely on tricky, but not quite Snowball level. The safety bubbles kind of give her away, and honestly, when you learn her, she's on the upper end of off-screen filler. She's a battle that if you start learning her, you'll see how easy she is. Even on the upper level, she's actually very doable. Her ads don't really come at you except for the one ad, and at that point it's like, alright, I think she's very easily done. Is she free though? No, I think she's just easy. Definitely below Shamra. Definitely above Amalga, but definitely below Shamra. She's easy. I'm not saying very doable. She's easy. If I have to find a Rage Boiler, it's more along the lines of, is the very doable worth my time? If not, Rage Boiler. Alright, let's go and do it. Oh, you. I'm sorry. Virals, what the fuck were you smoking when you made Estreo? When you meet Estreo, it is hell incarnate. It's like, she is the de facto hardest Iric glyph. Definitely among the top 15 hardest to fuck with. And she doesn't need to grab ads on phase 2. Her ads keep going and it fucking claustrophobic. The field just becomes stupid cluttered. We even just talking about her level 6 battle. Her level 5, level 6 is annoying as shit. When I met her the first time, she was at level 9. Oh, hell no. I honestly think she does need a training episode. She needs a training episode. Almost a training arc. She needs a really good training episode. You need to sit down for Estreo. Like, if you're gonna try to get good with Estreo for Endless, Altered, the IL boards for speed running, and even if you're full running it, yeah, you're gonna sit down to learn Estreo. You do not want to get caught out there. And I actually say that she's above Jewel in real challenge. Not quite still hell. There is one Iric that's like, wow, she is a problem. But yeah, she's still a real challenge. Not even gonna lie, she is the de facto challenge. Manavai. Okay, this is hard. Manavai, you can start meeting her at level 8, meaning that you don't even get to see her until the upper end of Light Rain, middle of Heavy, and she can be an opening act, or one of the opening acts at Torrent. You're never gonna be ready for her. Like, if you're not playing Light Rain, you will never truly be ready for when she shows the hell up unless you are already deep. And if you're in Torrent Ring, you'll never see her coming. She will come and blindside you, and you're gonna be like, oh fuck, is she worth wasting the resources at this point? I'm sorry, when you first meet her, it's like, oh hell no, what the hell's going on here? She's another one that requires a training episode. But I don't think she's above Alter Shanks in episode. I think honestly she stays among the levels of, alright, you get an episode, but why? We'll take a quick break. I think my stuff is here. Hold on. No, not yet. Okay, cool. Speaking of which, I have my cell phone. Get my cell phone real quick. Make sure my stuff is going. I got cookies on the way, so when that comes up, we will take a quick breather and grab the cookies. We'll have my cookies and be good to go. Is it delivered? That might be the alert saying it's fucking delivered. Nope, daily bonus. Okay, whatever. Sorry about that. I still think you're gonna take some time. Like, Heliola is a problem. Monovi is a step up from Heliola. I'm not even gonna front. If you're dealing with Monovi, you better be ready. You better have your ducks in a row. You better have your shit together. Because when you're learning Monovi, once you start learning her upper levels, she becomes a real big problem. Her lower levels seem like, why? But God help you. God help you if you're not ready for it. When you look at it, I think she's still a real challenge. Below Jewel, but definitely above like Heliola. Like she is a real challenge at phase 1, and phase 2 can make you hate your life. And with the 2 ads that she has, the rain becomes a big problem. It's either you deal with the rain early, or you to speed up the process, or you deal with the rain later and have to deal with her bullshit. Honestly, that's how I see it. Despite what I will tell you right now, she's not free. Philoloo is not free. Actually, I would say a low end of slightly tricky. You're not gonna die here, but getting a really to understand her is like a thing. Now, mind you, she is a shiny, so we'll put her on the upper end of shiny even. I think shiny Jewel's a lot easier to manage than like Philoloo. Her safety bubbles is what makes it happen. But again, shiny is shiny. You go about your business. Topaz. I'm gonna say actually on the low end of tricky. Not quite snowball easy, but the reason why I say that for Topaz is that Topaz is like the easiest one, and you'll see that Sapphire when we get to her is gonna be slightly above her. Not the hardest thing under the sun, a little tricky when you first meet her, but hey, you can get around to understanding that. You can understand why she's a tad bit on the tricky side. Not gonna lie. When you're learning her, honestly, when you're learning her, she's... Where the hell did I put Ruby at? Did I forget to put Ruby somewhere? Give me a moment. My eyes are bad right now. Oh, yeah. She's low end of Filler Arc. Yeah. Definitely low end of Filler Arc. Her and Ruby can easily be put in the same filler arc, to be honest with you. I think it's not off-screen filler. She does take a little bit of work to understand, but you can still learn her. Now, is she like Ruby level of free? Oh yeah. I'd say freer than Lila. I think she's just as free as Boiler, but not quite as free as Lila. Like, she is just as free as Boiler, but not hard enough to get above Lila. I'm just gonna say it as it is. Odenai. Hard but doable. When you first meet Odenai, her and Hades is gonna make you hate your life. Odenai, you can meet at level 5. You're likely gonna meet her at level 8, and she's gonna be annoying as shit. And the fact that, as a person who tries to radiate his battles, I am it. Thank you. You're not gonna like Odenai. Odenai, when you first see her, is an absolute problem. But when you start learning her, I think she's above Kemery but not quite the same as like a Malga, Volodrome, or Lavalin types of flashback. You're gonna put some work in for Odinai, but you're not gonna ever be hard-pressed for Odinai. Now, would I deal with her? Now, that's a whole nother story. She, at upper levels? Hell nah, I take Shira no Toa before Odinai. But I take Odinai over a Guardian Soul. I ain't fucking with Odinai level 12. That's a battle that will fucking put me at a tilt point. Like, I better have a hell of a build, and I better have panics before I screw with Odinai, like, hard body. Unit Lulu. Tutorial bosses are tutorial bosses. Unit Lulu is fucking free. Like, this is the tutorial boss. You losing to Unit Lulu means you have no way, there's no hope for you unless you like, there's no way you should be losing to Unit Lulu no matter what battle you're in. She is not a hard battle. You see her at Mist Rain. Sorry. You get to see her at Mist Rain level. Like, she is the tutorial boss. Rendy is harder than Unit Lulu. And that's saying a lot when I have to say that Unit Lulu is the easiest boss in the game. Easiest monster in the game. Quite no questions asked. Now, no unit. Okay. The upper end of doable. I honestly say above Lavalin. When you meet her, she's going to catch you completely off guard. And the fact that her battle is a transition battle. Like, she's going to dip in twice. She's going to dip out of reach twice, and you will deal with ads. She has 6 of her own, 6 tentacles to make your life hell. She's doable, but not quite as hard as Hades so when you first meet her. It's just a matter of when you meet her, she's about a good 25% of your save file. Her training arc? Not quite Lavalin's training arc. Once you start understanding what levels you want to deal with Unit Lulu, you start prepping for you train the upper levels to be preparing for the lower levels. Not really the same with Lavalin. I'm gonna say she's on the upper end of easy, above Shanks, but lower than Volodrome. Mainly because Volodrome can still completely body you. No unit, if you're really careful about it, you can get away with not getting hit by her. Not gonna lie. Prisma. Upper end of easy. When you meet Prisma, she's gonna be at a lower level. You'll probably understand everything about her. It's not a very hard battle. Off-screen filler, I think above Umbra, definitely a little harder than Umbra, but lower than Shy. Shy Scrambler. I don't think it's gonna take a whole lot of work. Once you start learning Prisma, she's a very easy academic hunt. And when I say free, she's free. I mean, like, she's easier than Sandrum type of free. A little bit harder than Shy Scrambler, but still, it's free is free. Rage Prisma. Okay. Slightly trickier. But not quite the same as, like, Shy Lila. Like, all 3 of them is very comparable. Once you learn the Rage Prisma, the only thing that changes from Prisma to Rage Prisma, safety bubble, really. That's the only thing. And I will say, though, she is slightly harder to learn than any of the off-screen filler, but definitely not harder than any of the jewels. Like, they're about the same. And once you start learning her, I actually say, still, Sandrum's still a tad bit harder on the free side. Not even on the front. If I see a Sandrum that is over leveled over a Prisma at level, I will take Prisma at level before I take that Sandrum over leveled. Not gonna lie. But then again, though, I do have a feeling I do like Zeramex. Dual Prisma. Slightly above slightly above Ambroa, but still like lower than Roundsaw. When you beat Dual Prisma, Rage and regular Prisma would have already been here. So, again, just a slight step up. And when you go into Training Arc, again, this is a slight step up. Not even quite Roundsaw. Basically put any of the Prismas at this point is just like a step up, which is going to show. I'd rather take her than Shy Lila. Definitely below I will definitely say Sandra might be a better consideration for an easier fight, but I can't put her above Shy Lila at all. It's free. very, very, very free. Without question. Not easy. I mean, like, below Photosite easy. Not is very, very easy. You can't get any easier than that. You don't even need an arc filler. Actually, around this area, you don't even need a filler arc. Once you start learning Not, she is as free as it gets. Like, she is, like, slightly above Scramble free, but not, like, Ground Saw free. Synchron. Yeah. I can't put her above Calorie. The unit itself is complicated at first, that's slightly tricky, but not quite like Rage Boiler. Like, it doesn't take the same level of thought. And when you start learning, it's like, oh, okay, it's actually rather easy. But I would say Hema is a little bit easier than Synchron, but then Shy Lila and Lila is still definitely harder than Synchron. Especially once you start learning that base 2 is freaking uniform. Yeah, free. In between Prisma and Rage, free. Now, when you meet up with Alter Synchron, okay, very doable. Alter Synchron actually puts you at a very bad spot, because she's up there in the upper levels, and with a couple extra patterns, and actually the opportunity to actually reverse. She can hit you with reverse, and it'd be like, oh, was not prepared for this. And her second phase, you do have to play in that safety bubble. She does step up her game a little bit. It does need to be mentioned that she is at, like, snowball levels of the filler arc. You're gonna put a little bit of work in, but not like the same amount of work like Shia Notoa, Camry, and Odenai. Definitely not a Laval and a Heliola. Damn sure not Astreo, but still worth the filler arc of the upper end of filler arc. But is she free? No. Not at all. She is easy. The low end of easy, but easy. If I see Alter Synchron and Dendrohigh at the same time, they're comparable. It's just a matter of who's the upper level and who's offering more. Who's worth the headache. By the time you see Shiny Synchron, you should already know you already know the deal. Shinies are shinies, free is free. So, yeah. I would definitely say above, definitely a little bit harder than them, because they are moving around, but still. Shinies. Sorry, Vitria. Vitria. Yeah, still easy. Moving on. Vitria, speaking of which. Wait. Wow. Why is Vitria... Oh, because I moved her. I moved her by accident. Okay. I moved her by accident. My bad. Sorry, Vitria. Flip Flap. Doable. I dare say harder than Kemri when you first meet him. Flip Flap is definitely a boss that when you first meet him, you're like, oh, just aim for the nodes. No, actually, when you first see that, it's like, oh, the body needs to be beaten out first. We gotta expose the wiring, then the nodes, and it doesn't make it easier that the wiring still can be exposed. You can take the easy way out, but those nodes are gonna make it hell, which makes it worth a flashback arc. Now, I wouldn't say Shia Notoa level though, but still worth it above Emerald. It's not a fight that you want to take lightly when you're learning it, but it's not hair pulling inducing. And I honestly think she's on the low end of very doable, right around where Volodrome is at. Maybe a little bit up there with Volodrome. I would actually consider who's worth more when I'm looking at that. Oh, Sentinel 4X, high, hard, but doable. When you meet her, you are not ready for her. You are not ready for her. There's just no way around it. You're gonna struggle your first couple runs with her. And when you meet her, it's not an easy battle. Not gonna lie, it's not an easy battle. It's not hard. It's hard, but it's not like, God, it's hard. It's doable when you first meet her. I will say, though, her training arc, though, is worth noting. Middle of the flashback. When you're learning her fight, there's a lot to consider. Who you're playing with, how you're playing with her. This is a battle where when you're learning her, you do not want to take for granted how much damage she can put on your ass. I put her at very doable, definitely around where Lavalin is at. Lavalin Emerald is at. Her 4X battle is where it's at. I think that's still a fight. Oh, this is hard. Hello, 0X. A nemesis of mine. Okay, this is hard. Like, Heliola and 0X, when you meet 0X, you are nowhere near prepped for that fight. You see her and you're like, is she upside down? Her going upside down and making it so that she can still attack you when she has no more defenses makes it more the reason why you need to be ready for her and have a build. Like, you get to see her at upper levels, like in heavy or even at turret ring, right around the opening acts. You are nowhere near ready. You're nowhere near ready. There's not a single fuck to give. You are not ready for this fight. You're not ready for the smoke. It's like, wow. Why is this a thing? And I will dare say this is a training episode. This is a training episode. Low end of it, but a training episode. I would rather learn Heliola 3 times over before having to relearn 0X. I'm not gonna lie. 0X was the reason why I got good at this game. Really good at this game. I had to learn her before Heliola came out. She was my boss. She was my wall for a long time. And yes, she is on that. She's on the real challenge. There's never a time where 0X is considered if I'm not confident in my build. There's never a time. I will take Guardian Soul and Alter Shex before I take on 0X without a build. Holy fuck. If I see her on a turret ring start, immediate reset if I'm not playing Demon. There's a reason why I say if I'm not playing Demon. I main Demon and Devil. If I'm not playing with those two, I am not fucking with her. Fuck all types of noise. Whew. Oh god. And it leads to the boss monster. I would not be surprised if Ventra gets the upgrade. Absolute hell. If Guardian Soul was hard but doable, Ventra will make you hate your life. Ventra is not right. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. It took me 4 straight attempts with Demon of all people, because I couldn't do it with anyone else. I had to take 4 separate attempts just to get her to even be able to radiate her, to be able to be starting to practice with her. And oh my god, fuck this. Fuck that battle. That battle is a stage in itself and a boss with a boss at the end. Hell no. She is the first monster I'm going to say you need a training arc. Astraeo is easier than Ventra. Ventra, you will need a training arc. And even with the training arc, she is still hell. She is still hell, without question. She is a boss that you will not like. You will never like fighting Ventra. She needs to have the best gifts in the world. She needs to have a 3-star gift, power gift, and a 3-diamond bonus gift for me to consider fighting her willingly at an upper level. I will take any of them below before I fight a Ventra. Hell no. Ventra, you got it. You got it. I will hunt you down when I'm doing my IL runs, but fuck you everywhere else. No way. Sapphire. It's still bad set. Oh, right here? Slightly above no rounds all. Sapphire, honestly, is a one phaser, and honestly, the big problem here is trying to keep a full combo when you first start her. But other than that, you'll find her low enough that she's not that big of a problem. And honestly, comparable. Comparable to her other sisters. It's a fill arc. You learn her pretty simply. And honestly, above Lila, but lower than Snowball. Like, I will take Lila before Sapphire, but I wouldn't be opposed to take on Sapphire. Snowball I'll have some reservations for, but if I gotta build, I will actually take Snowball over them. Just gonna call it out. I'm just gonna call it as I see it. Oh, damn, we are just about to hit the halfway point. Default. Ugh. Hard but doable. When I met Default, I'll be honest with you, I was completely awestruck by how many patterns and how much harder she is upper leveled. I lucked out and got her lower enough. When I found her, she was at a low enough level that she was very doable. She was a problem child, but not like Hades, so she's doable. It will require a flashback. I'll be honest with you, around the same level as Null Unit. I wouldn't say Hades Soul type of level. I think, honestly, her level 12 is the only reason why she is actually this high up. Her level 12 and up to the 42 battles. It becomes a inducing of bullets. I think, honestly, though, when you finally get around to it, I'd rather her Null Unit than her. But I would actually consider her, Volodrome, and Flip Flap around the same with Lavalin. It's a matter of if it's worth the headache. That's gonna be honest. If this child is worth the headache. I'm definitely taking her over Odinai if I got the build. But if I don't have the build, it's very possible that I might have to consider someone else before taking Default. But if I have a build, yeah, Default definitely before Odinai. Dot isn't it. Shiny Not. You know what? Do I really need to say about Shiny Not? We're gonna put her in the shiny area, or right around this area. All right, enough said. Move on. Dot. Slightly tricky. The Lorna is slightly tricky. Dot, when you first meet her, you may not catch her with the safety bubble. With the safety zone, you might not catch her at first. But once you start learning her, I still think she can be free. She can be free. I wouldn't say like she's easier than Hema, but not quite as easy as like Shy Scrambler, Prisma, or whatever the case may be. I would take a Dot battle as free. I definitely would say she's easier than Prisma, without question. If I had to choose between the two, I'd say Dot on more occasions than often. Unless Prisma has something I want, then I'll take Prisma, but still, it's a thing. Whatever. Glacia. Ooh, upper end is slightly tricky. I was waiting for this one. I was waiting to start her. Her and her fucking lover, Vitria. Yeah, spoiler alert. They are lovers. Glacia, when you first find her, she doesn't seem hard, but she is slightly tricky. Upper end, I would dare say, if it wasn't for the fact that she was one of my first real grind, I would have put her at tricky a little higher than Snowball. But after learning the gaps and having a little bit of shmup experience, it's like, I'll take Glacia. Her training arc, though, she's still a filler. I'm not gonna lie, she's definitely above the jewels. Her filler arc is really, really tough to get around, but once you start learning the filler arc, it's easy enough. You can learn the battle. The battle's easy, and at that point, you would take, if you're really, really good about it, you could possibly take her over Vitria. I will say that, but I will definitely say she is definitely on the upper end of free. She is on the upper end of free. You're going to have to put in a little effort. Alter Glacia. When you meet Alter Glacia, truth be told, slightly easier than Glacia. Harder than Clowry, but still slightly easier. It's a slower Glacia. And when you learn that battle, you'll realize that she's easier than the jewels than her original counterpart. She's not really hard. She's just a slow starter. And especially since you can break her bullets, it makes her an easier fight. I honestly say she's below Sapphire in this case. Now, mind you, easier than Lila, harder than Lila, but still, Sapphire still poses a bit of a problem. Like Ultra Glacia, Sapphire, Ultra Glacia all day, every day. If I got something for it, I got it, without question. No Glacia. Oh wow! I dare say this is trickier. Definitely over Dentrahide. Adding a top and bottom layer of Void with spikes coming out periodically makes this fight a fair bit difficult. It's a fair bit difficult over her two other forms. Learning it will require you a flashback. Not gonna lie, this is definitely a battle that you want to learn the patterns, and you're gonna sit down to do it. you will sit down and do it. Now, it's not hard, but you're going to sit down and do it. You're going to sit down and do it. But when you learn it, it's actually a fun battle. I will say, below Hema, you know what? No, she's not free. If you got to take her in Torrent Rain, I'd say she's above Photosai on easy. Slightly harder than Photosai, but once you learn her, she can be done. It's going to be a little painful, but she can be done. Vitria. Oh, doable. When you first meet Vitria, you're going to be like, what the hell's up with this bitch? She going out here like moving. She's moving. Hitting me with the 8-way bullet trades and all these patterns. But once you realize how one-dimensional she is and learn her patterns, she's not so bad. Definitely a filler arc. Definitely above the jewels. I think around the Sandrum level. Once you start learning Vitria, she is fun. She's a fun battle. I definitely would say, though, personal experience aside, once you start learning Vitria, a lot of people just say she's a tad bit harder than Null Glacia. In my honest opinion, I put her right around the Hema. But looking at it from everyone else's point of view, I can definitely see why people have a hard time. Her and Null Glacia is definitely one of those ones like, okay, you will put in some work. You will put. She's easy, but you will put in some work. Alter Glacia, Vitria, honestly, when I met her, when I met her, I was like, this is a slower Vitria. It's like Vitria light at that point. Like, if Vitria was always moving, she's only half of that. I can deal with her. And when you learn her, she's lower than Sandrum at that point. It's like, okay, this is an easier Vitria. So yeah, I can't put her free, but I'll definitely put her on the low end of easy. Like, Umbroa is still easier than Ultra Vitria, but that's just saying something. Oh! The Rage Duet. Yeah, hi, fuck you. I'd rather know tonight than deal with you. You bitches together are an absolute problem child. When you first meet them, you're gonna feel like it is an upgrade to both of their battles separately. And when you have to deal with them together, God help you because they're on upper levels. You will need a major flashback. I'm not gonna lie. This is not a fight you're gonna go in there willy-nilly. You're gonna put in some work. More than the Guardian Soul. I will tell you that much, but not quite Jewel level. You will put in the work. You will put some time in. But when you start learning that battle, you start seeing, okay, I don't want to fight them upper level unless I really need to. If any of these fuckers show up, yeah, I'm taking that fight. But I will actually say I would put her, I put her harder than Odinai. I will take an Odinai fight over-leveled before taking on a Rage over-leveled. And that's just because Odinai has a little bit more in the gaps. Rage Duet doesn't give you that much room. I will definitely say it's definitely easier than the Guardian Soul. And damn sure not Ventra. But the Duet is fine. Pearl. Part of the Angel Sisters. I think she's harder than Calorie. But that's not saying a whole lot. Honestly. Not quite Snowball level. Honestly, once you really realize how easy she is on phase 2, you just speed through phase 1, breaking that bottom, breaking her eye. That's basically the training arc for her. How fast can you break the eye? I say the upper end of off-screen filler. It really comes down to how fast you can break that eye. Once you start learning your speed level and how you can break that eye, she can actually just be as easy as Calorie. And I'm gonna reference that too. I would say she's easier than Calorie once you do it, but not great. I still think that she's easier than I think she's harder than Photoside, but not quite Null Glacia. But definitely definitely harder than Photoside. Not quite as easy though as Vitria, or not quite as hard as Vitria or Null Glacia. Damn sure not Null Round Soul. Momo, hi. Low end of tricky. When you meet Momo's gonna be like, hi. I gotta feel the pedals for you. Can you navigate? Can you? Would you? How? That's why I feel like Momo. Momo's battle when you first meet her is like, it's tricky, but not hard. And when you start learning her, it's like, okay, she's easy. She's on the low end of the filler arc. Pearl is easier than her than Momo, but you learn her, she is free. Like, I'm gonna put her, like, if I see Momo, it's free. I'll take damage, but I'll take her over Sandro. Momo's free. Shy Momo, on the other hand, though, middle doable. I was completely awestruck, and the fact that her shy pieces, she's still firing a saw at you. She has tentacles, and her two blooms either equate to you getting aimed at or getting AoE'd. When I first met her, she was like, oh, Flip-Flop gotta run for her money for first impressions. I don't like you. I don't like you. No, it wasn't like, oh, fuck you, no Lulu type of level, but I don't like you. I hate it. Learning the battle, that definitely was a flashback. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely took a little longer than Odenai. I feel like it's debatable whether 4X Odenai and Shy Momo will be your hard case. I will definitely say she's harder than Kemari, Shinotoa, Flip-Flop, and Emerald, and definitely lower than the other ones. Definitely harder than those, but I think she's slightly around the Amaga level. Not gonna lie, she's that damn crazy. Now, is she at the same level as Amaga when you learn her? No, not even Vitria. Not even at the same level as Vitria. I think honestly she's slightly harder than Pearl, but definitely not like No Glacier Vitria base levels. At that point, it's like all it is a couple extra steps, and I'd rather deal with it. I'd take Vitria over her, but I will definitely take her over No Glacier, just on the headache factor alone. Shiny Momo, definitely one of the hardest shinies. She's free, but definitely the third hardest shiny. Philo and Shiny Jewel is definitely harder for a shiny battle, but shiny is shiny. Blot. Once you realize that her ads take more damage than her, you kind of aim for the ads. You kind of start limiting the amount of bullets she has to put up with. At that point, it's like, alright, fine. You win. Whatever. We got this. Learning her battle is actually around the same level as, like, Shamra. Like, you learn her... If you can learn Shamra and Blot... You learn Blot, you're almost ready for Shamra. Not even gonna lie. You're almost ready for your learning Blot with Shamra. Anytime I face Blot, unless I'm really fucked, it's a free battle. It's free. Now, I will definitely say she's easier than Boiler. Yeah, I'd say it. She's easier than Boiler. But not quite as, she's easier than Boiler, but not quite as easy as, like, Ultra Round Saw or something. But that's at my honest opinion. You'll find that Ultra Round Saw and Blot are interchangeable. And, wow, this is so bad. Like, everything's so out of order with some of these. We'll go Alter Blot next, just because it's kind of out of order. Because all that's left is the end of Glass Florals, the virals themselves, and the special. So let's finish this out with the Shambles. Alter Blot is slightly harder than Umbroa. That's all I can say. It's basically Blot with delay. Her first phase is what really puts it over there. After that, it's like Blot, but a delay. The shots are delayed, they're wobbly. And once you learn that, that's about the same. It's about the same once you get done with it. It's not very hard. No, Blot! Oh, hi. You are a fair bit trickier. Not gonna lie. You got a lot of AoE, you got a lot of patterns that are just wobbly. You got a lot of wobbly shots. Like, they like wiggle. If I had to say it, you're definitely hard. My first impression was definitely, you were definitely hard in Ultra Vitria. That wiggle in her shot and that random spike out of nowhere caught me completely off guard. Tricky as hell, but definitely wasn't hard. She was beatable. I did stomp that ass. She definitely is worth the filler arc. I think above Alter Glacia, but not quite at the same levels as like the Jewel Sisters. Wobbly, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Like, honestly, that's all it is for her filler arc. And when you learn her, she's at the upper end past Lila, but not quite, but not like on the same levels like easier than Alter Glacia. Just to be honest with you, once you learn how to navigate the spike and deal with the the worm-like shots, tad bit harder, still the same. Kiwi. Actually, when I met Kiwi, it was actually at a rather lower level. Slightly trickier than Alter Roundsaw. But that's only because I met up with Kiwi so early. But Lord have mercy when you have to freaking start learning her. Oh, hell no. This is one of those ones that I would definitely say Amalga Amalga and Voltron has a run for their money. Learning her at upper difficulties is a matter of how much room you can get. And I'll be honest with you, Kiwi's one of those reservations. She's a reservation type of boss. Very doable, definitely. I would definitely take her over Emerald, but I would take 4X over her. At upper levels, I'm not dealing with Kiwi. I'm not going to take a Kiwi fight if I'm not built for it. No way. Not at upper levels. This is one of those battles that I got to put in consideration whether or not I want to put up with the bullshit. Not even gonna lie. If I am not ready to put up with that bullshit, I am not putting up with it. Without question. She does not get the same does not get the same clemency. Is that the right word? Yeah, that's not the right word. Anyways. Oh, you! Hell no. Traumatized, boss. I hate to say it. I hate Citrine. She's the second hardest of her jewels. Only Nova is harder than Citrine. And that's saying a lot. When I have to go out there and put in some work to put her on a trading episode. Yeah, no. Jewel is easier than Citrine. I hate to say it. Citrine is a boss that, no matter how you look at it, if you are not ready, you're never beating her. You'll never beat Citrine. But when you beat her, unfortunately, the challenge factor after the fact is, yeah, definitely above Emerald, without question. Definitely above, definitely harder than Guardian Soul. Definitely easier than Guardian Soul, but that's where she plays. She's just easier than Guardian Soul, but harder than the duet. I think the duet and Citrine are interchangeable. And that. Echo is just doable. Okay, so all this up is the virals and the special monsters. Let's get shiny virals out of the way right now. Let's put the shiny there, middle of the road. Like, it's free. It's not free. It's not as free as you think. But when shiny is shiny, and among all the current shinies, you're at the you and shiny Synchron are interchangeable. And while we're on the subject, we're also going to get the shiny anomaly out of the way as well, because that one though, ooh, that's a really fun battle. I would say free when you first meet her, but when you're learning that shiny, ooh boy, shiny Jewel got to run for her money. But again, shiny's still shiny. Done with that, moving on. Split Viral. When you first meet Split Viral, low end of tricky. You won't understand why it's tricky until you get to phase 2. It just becomes very cluttered. But once you start learning Split Vi, it's very easy. Like Photoside's harder than it, and you take Split Viral anytime you have it. So definitely above, definitely harder than Dot, but lower than Prisma. Burning Viral. Easy. I find Split Viral harder than Burning Viral. That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot when burning viral is easier than Scrambler. And as free as Rendy. That's saying a lot. Burning viral did not give me any problems. Voltage viral. You can easily see where I'm just going along the lines here. Split and burning and voltage viral. Wasn't big fans of. Wasn't really easy to deal with. Venom viral though. All right, slightly tricky. Definitely above Lila, but definitely harder than Lila, but lower than Rage. Safety zone. When you get her to fight her, she has safety zones, and yeah, she's a bit of a problem. But once you start learning her, she's around split viral level, and she's still free. At that point, she's still free. Slightly lower than split viral, because anytime if you can get on any good day, you can beat Venom. Split viral does take some work. Frozen viral, very low and tricky. It's voltage viral with extra steps. Learning the fight though, I will say she is you will need a filler arc. I will say she makes it worth the filler arc. You'll work her. And I think, honestly, Ultra Round Saw, I think everything above her is about as evenly as I would say it. Free, though, the upper end of free. It's going to take a little bit of work to get that free victory. If you don't have the right build, she can body you, but honestly, more often than not, she's free. Vibrant. You're probably wondering, why the hell is she up this high? When you first meet Vibrant, safety bubbles, traveling, you can't really hurt her. Her shots can be, if you don't destroy her regular shots, they bounce off, and it's a shy battle of all things. In good faith, I put her higher than Null Unit and definitely Ultra Synchron, but lower than 4X, because 4X makes you work for it. She is just annoying to deal with. On the annoying factor, and yes, it does deserve her arc. Yeah, she gets a flashback above the filler arc. Honestly, it is what it is. Definitely a lot of callbacks to her fight. And I'll be honest with you. I take a Null Unit before fighting her, but definitely before having to take on any of these, I will put her in high consideration. The Quartet. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna put this free. When I fought the Quartet, it was actually doable. It's basically 4 battles in one. That's basically how you boil it down. If you beat them on their own, fighting them together is just a tad bit harder than fighting Vibrant. And she runs the show. Oh, she definitely runs that show. She runs the show without question. But do I put her harder than herself? Yeah, but not the reasons you want me to tell you. It's just how synergistic they become is why she gets at the very doable level. Mind you, I'll take her over Flip Flap all day, every day. But these 3 are doable. Ick. Sorry. Viral Raid is one of those battles. When I met her, it was at an upper level, and I was not liking it. It was hard. I did not come out of that without some bruises, some slashes. I was battered, bruised, and beat the fuck up. I am not even gonna lie. I hated every minute of that fight. You would not catch me dealing with that fight. When I started learning her, that was a headache. More so that they deserved to be right around the Guardian Soul level. I'm sorry, that was a headache. That fight's a headache. And to this day, it's still a fight that I will literally say very doable, but I'd rather Citrine than her. I'd rather Citrine than... The Shiny Virals fight's not worth fighting Rain. It's not worth fighting Rain to get the Shiny Virals if there's better out there. Honestly though, Jewel, anyone from Guardian Soul upwards, Viral Rain is a very high consideration. But if it's worth the while, I will actually bypass on Viral Rain and take one of those harder ones before fucking with her. Not even gonna lie. Ooh, another one that gave me a bit of an issue. Storm Viral. When I first met up with her, I was like, ugh. You basically made the worst end of Split Viral in that second half, and you really want to make me have to work for it. Ugh. Yeah, Storm Viral will definitely put you on your ass. Not gonna lie. Storm Viral will put you on your ass all day, every day, twice on Sunday. If you're not ready for it, when you first fight her. Learning her is still a headache. I'm gonna be honest with you, low end of flashback, of the major flashback. She's one of those bosses that you don't want to deal with, but you have to deal with. Because eventually you'll have no other option but to deal with her at upper levels. Once you're done with it though, Ultra Shanks really makes it worth the reason why she's slightly lower. Guardian Soul I will take over Storm Viral. I'll take the Rain over Storm Viral. It's just too much, it's way too much of a headache when you're doing it, and for speed, she slows you down. She's not a fast boss. Molten's just doable. Honestly, I found Molten a lot easier than the Quartet, but harder than Flip Flap. Without question when I first met her. And it's going to be about the same. Mileage may vary, but Molten Viral is going to be something that's going to catch you completely out of left field. Just going to call it as it is. Learning her, though, is not as hard as you think she is. I definitely think she's at a filler arc above Shanks, but I can't put her at the flashback sequence because, honestly, once you start learning her, she's nothing more than a few monsters slapped together with an opening from Burning Viral with maybe 1 or 2 extra patterns. Which does put my bias a little bit more towards the low end of doable. I think, honestly, Vibrant Viral is slightly easier than Molten Viral. And they are interchangeable. They are interchangeable, without question. Oh, I made Amethyst. I found Amethyst just doable. Honestly, middle end. It wasn't like I was pulling out my hair, but when I finally got a chance to fight Amethyst outside of the Nova battle, I was disappointed. Doable, definitely. Definitely disappointed. And when I went to the training art to try to learn her, yeah. Flashback, definitely. I definitely say it's above Emerald, but definitely not like Vibrant Viral levels of training. It's like, I'm disappointed. Emerald and Amethyst can be interchangeable. But there's a reason why she's third. Emerald is slightly easier, but not by much. Not by much. Like, they are very comparable at the middle of the road. Very doable. Pharma. Oh, this is a problem child. Honestly, though, she's not as problematic as you would think. Very formulaic. Tricky at best. When I fought her, she was tricky. Not very tricky, not like, alright, she's not hard, but she's definitely not tricky. She's somewhere. But I found Ultra Vitria maybe a little bit harder than Pharma. And her training arc, ugh. One of the few times I'm actually gonna say she has a rather easy training arc. I found Momo's training arc harder than hers. That's saying a lot. When Momo's training arc is harder than Pharma's. Which definitely makes it really, really saddening that she's still harder than Momo. And it's just her upper level battles. It's a lot of the spikes and stuff. I found it easier to learn, but she's still not as easy as Momo. Low end of easy though. Don't get me wrong. Ultra Vitria and Ultra Synchron definitely seem harder. But Forma is a child that you can get around and you can beat if you really take the time to do it. I think she's the weakest actually. Out of all the children, yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. And now thinking back at it, I think Echo now really seems like her and Forma can go back and forth. I don't think Echo is hard. Once you get to learn the gaps, her and Forma are very interchangeable. Shammer's harder, and that's just because of how pain in the ass she is. But she's definitely not like her sister, her younger her siblings in default, Odinite and Guardian Soul. Oh, hi, Thorn Boss number 1. Honestly, when you meet up with her, she does seem like a wall. And to tell you the truth, it is her first 2 phases. Void's first 2 phases is what makes her notorious among beginners. She's hard because of those first 2 phases, and the higher you go up there, the more prominent you see those first 2 phases, literally being the reason why she's so damn hard. She deserves her flashback, but honestly, just above Null Unit, just above Voltrum. Null Unit takes a lot more precedence than Void. By the time you fight Null Unit, Void you should already have down to a science. Now, is she free? No. Is she easy? No. Not at all. Not at all, especially on the upper levels. I think, honestly, she's right around where around the Hades-So Kemery area. Oh, by far. Actually, no, even, you know what? We'll put her even around where the Rage is at. In between Rage and Citrine. This battle here at the upper levels, Vi had to actually redo the battle at upper levels to put gaps in the chevrons at phase 2. Yes, he had to actually put gaps in the chevrons to make that attack easier to dodge. If that is not a sign of, okay, we really need to scale this down a bit, I don't know what is. It's very doable, but God, you're gonna be hurting for it. Like Rage, Void, and Citrine is very doable and interchangeable of why the hell is this a thing? I'm going to step away real quick to think. I'm going to see if my cookies are here yet. Hold on. Hardy har. Alrighty. Wifey had some stuff. My stuff's not here yet, which I'm a little disappointed. Alright. Whew. We're getting down to the final stretch here. Nothing but specialists and bosses. Tataria. Sorry. I am very sorry, but when Void is actually harder when you first meet her than Tataria, it ends up being a matter of Tataria is a sponge. Where's the difficulty? I'm sorry, when I first fought Tataria, I was like, oh, this is just a damage sponge. That's it. And learning her, honestly, learning her upper battles is what puts her right around Volodrome. I don't think that she's any harder than Volodrome, but it's just the fact that she's just a longer sponge. And at the end of the day, once you start learning her, she's easy. Honestly, she's definitely easy. Definitely below Calorie. I find Calorie harder. That's just funny. When you find the Void harder than Tataria, you know you've done something wrong. They should be flip-flopped. Ooh, Blue Viral. Hi, when I first met you, you was right around here. Blue Viral, when you first meet her. God! There's a reason why they call her perfection. Perfection is not easy. Definitely a guardian soul gives her a run for her money. Same with Alter Shanks. All three of them can easily go into, okay, this is hard when you first meet him. Not even gonna lie. She's not someone to fuck with. Learning her, it's basically the longer the fight goes, the harder the fight becomes. She becomes a major flashback. But not any harder than like Viral Rain or Guardian Soul. She's very doable. She's very doable at that point. Hold on a second. Can I think my shit too? Oh! Hold that thought! Gifts! Yay! Alright, a slight delayed game, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy got his package, and he finna open it, because he hungry. As soon as I can find a way to open this motherfucker. Times like this, I have to remember where the hell I put my Gerber or knife. Where the hell is my knife now, thinking about it? Thank you. If I could find where my knife's at, we'll be good. Oh, there it is. Hi, combat knife. Glad to see that you're still around and kicking. Still sharp enough to be able to cut through shit. The cut. Omatic. Yeah. 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 That's what's up. This is what I think it is. Oh yeah. Exactly what I think it is. Alrighty. I think I'm gonna do this one for myself. That's for me. And this will be for the woman. Sooner I get done, sooner I can eat these cookies. But I'm not gonna speed through it like some madman. Here we go. Alrighty. So, was that training arc? Yeah. I don't put, again, with Blue Viral, I put them around the same level as Viral Rain, but not quite like Guardian Soul type of training. You'll learn the Blue Viral fight. Even if it kills you. Honestly, this is when things get a little bit snippy here. Where the hell I put Blue at? There you are. Honestly, to be honest, I put her at the upper end of very doable. Not a real challenge at the end of it all. Like right around near among the top 3. She's a hard fight, don't get me wrong, but she's not like the real challenge like the Irix, Ventra, Jewel, or even Zero X. She's there on challenge, but it's only because of the last couple phases is when she really becomes it's her first, her fourth, and her final phase what makes her really, really threatening. Other than that, though, there's not really much else to say on the matter. Blue Viral is actually just the way it is. You'll learn it. You'll not like the fight, but you'll learn it. Anomaly, free. Upper end of free, though. You can get bodied, but she's free. She's meant to be free. She is meant to be free. She's not the easiest boss in the game, but still, free is free. Right around, just a little higher than Rendy. Stella. Easy. When I fought Stella seemed very, very easy. Like, she was dangerously easy. And she only comes up at level 3 unless she's over leveled, so. That's about as right with her training. She's not incredibly hard. A lot of her attacks are easy coming, and when you break the spoke, she's very easy, very manageable. Yeah, about there. Yeah. Just maybe slightly lower than Dot. Slightly easier than Dot, I guess. And I'm gonna have the same attitude with Celestia. My attitude is the same. If you beat Stella, Celestia is not going to give you that much more issue. It's just basically just 1 or 2 extra attacks and a couple extra spokes. Honestly, it's not even that bad of a fight. Unity, on the other hand, a little bit more work. Unity took a little bit more time, but that's only because of how much stuff was bouncing around. Other than that, though, Unity is not that bad of a fight. Learning her is slight filler arc, definitely above Echo, definitely harder than Echo. You know what? Maybe a little harder, maybe slightly harder than the Jewel Jewel sisters, but not quite Glacia hard. I never really think Unity is that bad. She's not that bad. If you got a build, you was like, I'll take the Unity fight. That's fine. I'll take that fight. And yeah, and say she's free. Like, as free as Alter Blot and Blot is. So, free enough. Chroma, on the other hand, is tricky. Not gonna lie. When I fought Chroma, it really felt cramped fighting her. Her training arc, though, is not really that bad. I think, honestly, she's easier to learn than Unity, but harder than Null Blot. When you look at Chroma, honestly, it's debatable whether or not you'll deal with free in Chroma if you got a build, or when you don't have a build, you deal Unity. Either one, you deal with one or the other. Duality. Slightly tricky. I find Duality slightly trickier than Unity, but that's just saying very little about that. Like, honestly, Duality is just basically Stella and Celestia together. It's just slightly harder than Unity. Learning that battle slightly easier than learning Photosai. Well, slightly harder than Photosai and Umbra, but easier than Prisma. Tell you the truth. And yeah, I put her on the upper end of free. I'll put her at the top 3 of free right now. Not very hard. Trinity. I'm sorry. For a level 8, you're free. You're free. You're free. You are absolutely free. All somebody has to pay attention to is where to shoot, and you stay on the back end. As long as you're keeping your eyes out for this battle, you are as free can be. You are free. Without question. You are free. You are free. You are free. I will take her over any of the other bosses. That's how free she is. Not even gonna lie. I take her over Chroma. That's how free she is. Nyx. That's about right for Nyx. When you first meet with Nyx, you're gonna feel very cramped. You're gonna feel panicked. All those panics are gonna get some use over there in that first fight. I honestly think she's one of those battles that if you're not prepared for when you first meet her, you're gonna panic. You're gonna get all uppity. You're not gonna be ready for it. I am gonna say though that the more you train, the more you fight her, that fight becomes substantially easier as you go through. Because when you're fighting Nyx, you don't fight her at random unless you're playing her on quick play or endless. You will always be taking her on when you have enough panics to defend yourself. That's how I see it. But is she free? Nah. Far from free. I think I think on the lower side of very doable, right around where 4X and Kiwi's at, but nothing any higher. I wouldn't put her like where Emerald and Amethyst is at. Not at all. I would put her where Camry and freaking Shio no Toa is at. Definitely not harder than Odenai. But yeah, that's what I think. If Nyx gave you problems, Tox is slightly harder. Yeah, Tox is slightly harder than Nyx when you first meet up. Because you're going back, you're going in the opposite direction. And that's just the way it is. You're not going to be able to see what's behind you. Plus, there's more exploding nodes to deal with. But when you're learning this fight, though, you will see that it is substantially easier than the Nyx fight. Yeah, I say Vibrant Virals is slightly harder than Tox. Tox is a much easier fight when you're looking at it from that standpoint. Because when you're dealing with Tox, you're gonna see things. You're gonna have to deal with things coming to you at this point, but you're always able to retreat backwards instead of having to advance forward. You're retreating with the bubbles. You're retreating using the bubbles as a good retreating spot. As such, I cannot put it any harder than Nyx. I will say that 4X is slightly harder than Nyx. So far, still Hell is Venture's at the top of the order, but any one of those four in the real challenge can be still Hell. Nova. Oh, Jesus Christ. It says a lot when I don't like fighting Nova. It tells you a lot that even her level 3 fight, I don't like fighting her. When I fought Nova for the very first time, it was a level 10 fight. I was curious. I thought I had the build. She humbled me greatly. And to this day, I will not fight Nova unless score is required. If it's speed, no. That is a fight that I will never take. That is a fight I will never take. I'll take anyone else over Nova. In Endless, I want to get rid of her as soon as possible because I'm not dealing with her at the upper levels at all. I'm not even going to lie. This battle is hell. You will need a training arc. To learn this fight in its entirety, you will need a training arc. I repeat, you will need a training arc. Her and Ventra are the two that require training arcs completely. There is a reason why I have not started my IL runs with Nova in mind. I am not ready for that fight. I'm not considerably mentally prepared to go through the headache of that fight if I'm not playing with my two mains. Nobody else I will fuck with outside of Demon and Devil. Maybe if I'm high enough for Cross or Twins, maybe. But definitely not with Heart Painter, Flawless, or Defect. No, hell no. That is a absolute no. That's a deal breaker right there for me. But would I still put it at still hell? No. Ventra is a type of hell that you cannot get out of. Is she very doable? No. There is a challenge to her. But is she harder than Jewel? In all faith, no. I cannot put in good faith harder than Jewel. Harder than Monavai and Double X and Zero X all day, yeah. All day, every day, twice on fucking Sunday. But not harder than Estrella, Jewel, and Ventra. These three deserve that list. And honestly, I think Australia needs to get in still hell. I'm sorry. Jewel is just not hard enough than Australia. Australia is still hell. Oh my god, there's never a moment in my life that I would love to say this shit. But there's the tier list. I will be posting it up on the Discord group whenever you get the chance to see it, and I'll label them each as such. So, as such, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming to the stream. I'll try when there's more monsters, and when I do more, you'll see more down the line. So until next time, be merry, eat well, stay safe during troubled times. I will catch you back next time. You take care of yourselves.